Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and as you guys can see, it is release day for the Egyptian God decks. We have both Slifer and Obelisk, and it's time to do a little opening, and in order to save some of your guys' time, because that is pretty precious, I figured I'd just bundle this together and make this one video, maybe twice the length, but rather than trying to find both of them, we'll just do it in one. Now, I love the arts. I believe these are their new attack spell arts. These are not the new arts for the cards. And let's just start with Slifer since he's a really good fan favorite. So, again, we're going to get like 8 foils per deck. There are some cards that are a crossover. Let's have us a quick peeky poo at our little mat. And again, it's just going to be a clashed version of the box arts, which is fine. They could have went with something a little less safe. We're going to start with the Slifer deck. Of course, you're going to get a copy of Slifer. I believe each deck has one card that they're going to get 3 copies of. So we're going to get Slifer, ultra rare. We're going to get Soul Crossing, a new spell card, ultra rare. This one's actually going to be in both decks. We get the new Thunder Force attack spell card, ultra rare. We're going to get Millennium Seeker. So again, that's going to be only in the Slifer deck. We're also going to get the Ultimate Divine Beast Continuous Trap, Tellus the Little Angel, Reactor Slime, and Harpy's Feather Duster. All super rare reprints, actually found in both structures. And I feel like this is something that they're going to try to do maybe. We saw this with the Charmers structure deck. We ended up with Raigeki as a super rare insert, and maybe they're going to give us a lot of the cool older power spells. So let's put those off to the side. They're also going to give us Breaker, Beast King Barbaros, and if you guys don't know this guy, he can normal summon set without a tribute. If he does, he becomes 1900 attack instead. You can also tribute 3 monsters to play him, and if summoned that way, he's basically destroy all your opponent's cards. So he's kind of cool, especially if we decide to throw him in a deck where we're going to end up with the Egyptian God Slime, since we'll be able to do that all off a single tribute. We do have the Nine-Tailed Fox in here. I do wish this card was a little bit better. This one probably won't make it into the deck once I do the budget builds or better. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you contribute 2 monsters. Special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. If special summoned from the graveyard, if this was special summoned from the graveyard and attacks a defense monster, you can inflict piercing. If this is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 2 Fox tokens. So again, we're trying to manipulate what we have on the field in order to kind of gain more and more advantage off of Slifer's ability, trying to retain the hand and keep the power up. Phantom Sky Blaster, really fun here. When normal or flip summoned, you can special summon any number of Sky Blaster tokens up to the number of monsters that you control. So normally, if you just play this, it's 1 monster that you control at that moment, so then you'll get 1 token. The more monsters you have, the more you can bank off of it. We do have Card Guard. This is one of my friend's favorite cards. I'm sure he's going to yell Card Guard down in the comments. It deals with guard counters. So when normal or special summoned, place a counter on it. Gain 300 attack per counter on it. Once per turn, you can target another face-up card you control. Remove 1 card from or 1 counter from this, and if you do, place it onto the target instead. If the card would be destroyed, you can remove the guard counter instead, which is fine. We have Caligo Clawcrow, which is actually kind of cool. I do like this card. If you control a dark monster, you can extend and special summon this from the hand. You can only play it once a turn this way, but it's still pretty cool. They gave us Electromagnetic Turtle again. That's kind of cool. We got an upgrade for Breaker, the Dark Magical Warrior this time. Still not as good as it could be. Scapegoat. This is actually a really cool flip tuner. When this is flipped, you special summon any number of Black Sheep tokens that you want. Basically, fill up your side of the field on a flip. And then again, you can synchronize with it if you want, or whatever else you like. We are going to be having 3 copies of Arima per copy of the deck. Kind of weird, but again, we're dealing with Slifer, so really, Konami wanted to give you some abilities to draw cards. So the first effect here is you can discard this to add Layer of Darkness from deck to hand. You can use that. What more often than not we will be doing is tributing a dark monster to draw a card. With Layer of Darkness, that'll be one of our opponent's monsters instead. Additionally, if you tribute a monster that is not a Rima to do this, then you can add a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from the deck to the hand instead. You can only use that effect once per turn. But again, this will allow us to search out just a couple options that are really good here towards the end of the deck. One of them is Duke Shade. And again, I think I went over this card really when we were doing the Layer of Darkness build. You can tribute any number of dark monsters, special summon this from the hand, and if you do, gains 500 attack for each monster tributed. If it is normal or special summoned, you can target a level 5 or higher dark in the graveyard, add that to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate either effect except dark. So it's going to have some limitations, but with Layer of Darkness, this is a kaiju that we actually get to our own side of the field, and we don't have to give our opponent anything while being able to sack off something big. Clock Wyvern's in here for his ability to have his own attack and special summon another token, which is kind of cool. And they gave us the Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha. Mostly the effect that you'll use here is if you have no effect monsters, so if this is the first card that you're going to play that turn, you can special summon this from the hand. The rest of this is really when you're playing Tenyis. Spells that we got were Swords of Revealing Light, Monster Reborn, Book of Moon, just did a card of the week on that not too long ago. We got Enemy Controller, Pot of Avarice, March of the Monarchs, which is really cool because as long as we have Tribute Summon monsters like our God cards, Tribute Summon monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and neither player can target them with card effects. You cannot special summon cards from the extra deck, which is fine. This didn't come with an extra deck. This probably won't find its way into my unlimited build this time around. We do have the Supply Squad. Once per turn, if a monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to draw a card. Card Advance, which actually works well with the True Name. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, place them back in any order you choose, then you can tribute summon one monster in addition to your normal summoner set this turn. That's fine. True Name. Declare a card name, excavate the top card of your deck, which is why we needed to have stacked it. And if it is the declared card, add it to your hand, then you can add to your hand or special summon one divine monster from your deck. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. You can only activate the True Name once per turn, or activate one of them per turn. So we will actually be able to go ahead and just add Slifer to our hand, or since Slifer and Obelisk can be special summoned but go to the discard pile at the end of the turn if they are special summoned, we could develop him for a full turn this way. We do have the one-time passcode, special summon a security token, activate one of these per turn. This is just a way to get a nice token to the field. Layer of Darkness, this makes all monsters on the field dark. Once per turn, if you tribute summon a monster to activate a card effect like Duke Shade or Arima, you can tribute a dark monster your opponent controls, even though you don't control it. And again, because we're dealing with everything becoming dark, this is going to be any monster that they have. Last effect, once per turn during the end phase, special summon as many Torment tokens as possible to the turn player's field in defense position up to the number of monsters tributed this turn while this card was face up. So again, if in this case we are tributing the opponent's monster, but we will also get the token during that end phase. I don't know if this is the first time we've received this card, but this is definitely a cool one. We got the Draw of Fate. If your life points are lower than the opponent's and your opponent's control a monster with the highest attack on the field, even if it's a tie, reveal 3 cards with different names from the deck, place them on the top of your deck in a random order, draw 1. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot set spell trap cards, and you can only activate one more card or effect for the remainder of the turn. You can only activate one Draw of Fate per turn. And it's kind of a little all or nothing kind of gamble play, so that's cool. Again, the traps, we got a Mirror Force, we got a Reckless Greed, Metal Reflect Slime, Golden Apples. If you guys don't know this one, when you take battle damage while you control no monsters, gain life equal to the damage you took, and if you do, special summon a token with the attack and defense being equal to the amount of life points that you gained. And then back to the front, just a trap card, special summon one monster from your graveyard back in defense mode. And then, the random 3 cards. If we take a little bit of time to go over our foil, I think we can skip Slifer. I feel like you guys all know that. I think we can skip Feather Duster because you guys understand how that's so good. Let's go to the reactor slime, sorry. And this is better when you are capable of playing the Ancient Egyptian God Slime. During the main phase, you can activate this effect, special summon 2 slime tokens, so you can get this, then get 2 more tokens. You cannot normal summon or special summon for the rest of the turn except Divine Beast. Again, had this deck come with the double summons instead of the Obelisk deck, I do feel like that would be a great play to just go into a quick double summon. And right there's your 3 tributes. During the battle phase quick effect, you can tribute this card, set 1 Metal Reflect Slime Trap card from your hand deck or graveyard. It can be activated this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. So again, even if we did get rid of him, we could go into the Metal Reflect Slime since it would be during the battle phase. It sort of stops us from going full God right then and there. But we would be able to then take that Metal Reflect Slime in an unlimited build and just go straight into our Egyptian God Slime, which is, again, 3 tributes for a god. So we did get Tellus, the little angel, kind of a cool, odd-looking art. If this is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Tellus Wing token. While you control a Tellus Wing token, you can banish this in the graveyard, add 1 spell from your... banish this from the graveyard and a spell from your hand. Special summon 2 Tellus Wing tokens, and you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except from your hand. You can use each effect once per turn, and I've got a crazy tech that's going to use this when we go to the unlimited build. The ultimate Divine Beast continuous trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard a spell trap, then target a Divine Beast monster in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense mode, then change the attack target to it. During the end phase, if you control a Divine Beast monster, assuming that it survived that, you can destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls that activated their effects on the field this turn, using each effect only once per turn. And again, when you play Obelisk and Slifer from the discard pile, they will go back to the discard pile from being special summoned. So, again, a little all or nothing right there. The Millennium Seeker, kind of a confusing card to me, but maybe once I get into the building, this won't be as bad. So, 4-star Dark Spellcaster. When you take 1,000 or more battle or effect damage, you can special summon this from the hand. You can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, except a monster with a question mark attack. Your opponent can then choose 1 from their deck, except a monster with a question mark attack. If they choose not to, or if the targeted monster has a higher attack than the chosen monster, meaning that the one that we chose in their discard pile has a higher attack than anything they could have chosen from their deck, then we get to special summon that targeted monster to our side of the field. And then if we do, shuffle the one that they did choose back into their deck. Otherwise, the opponent does get to add the chosen card from their deck to their hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. The Thunder Force Attack, very cool spell card. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated, making it a spell speed 4. If you control a monster whose original name is Slifer the Sky Dragon, destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then, if you activated this during your own main phase, you can apply the following effects. So, just hang with me for a quick second. On our opponent's turn, say you're playing against Dragonlynx, you let them get a couple cards in, maybe. You can actually use this as if Slifer's second mouth attack wasn't already strong enough to start frapping cards off the field. This would also allow us to then break all of their monsters, but this allows us to also deal with anything that's already on the field. So very cool card. Again, if we did this during our main phase, we get the following effect. Then draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect, that were destroyed by this effect and sent to the opponent's graveyard. So no tokens. Also, you can only attack with 1 monster this turn. And again, if you just cleared the board, honestly, you're probably attacking with your god card anyway. So very cool. And then the last one is the Soul Crossing. And again, this is a nice quick play. During the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon 1 Divine Beast monster. When you do, you can tribute a monsters your opponent controls, even though you do not control them. But if you do tribute summon this way, by using your opponent's monster or monsters, again, you could use all 3 that your opponent has. Until the end of the next turn after this card resolves, you can activate 1 card or effect per turn, not counting the effects of Divine Beast monsters. And again, you can only activate 1 of these per turn. Just real quick, let's switch over to an Obelisk. I did already have one that was open, so I'm just going to go ahead and shove that off to the side. We do get Obelisk again. We do get Soul Crossing. We're going to go over a couple of these real quick here. We get the Fist of Fate. Again, spell speed 4, can't be responded to, cannot be negated. If you control a monster whose original name is Obelisk, negate the effects of an effect monster your opponent controls, and then if you do, destroy it. And then if you do, for the rest of this turn, the effects of that monster are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects of the field with monsters with the same name. Which is a long way of saying that we're going to cancel the effect, blow it up, and then if it had discard effects too, those are still not going to be applied. And if there were multiple copies of the same name up, which would be weird but can happen, the additional names also do not get their effects. And if you did this during your own main phase, you can then destroy all spell traps the opponent controls, activating only one of these per turn. Divine Evolution, probably the card everybody was looking forward to. Quickly looking on my table, I'm not seeing my Wicked God cards right now, which is totally fine, but it does allow them to get some more play too. So what this is another spell speed 4 card. Activation and effect cannot be negated. Choose one monster you control whose original type is either Divine Beast or original name is the Wicked Avatar, the Wicked Dreadroot, or the Wicked Eraser. Except a monster or monsters already affected by the Divine Evolution effect. It gains 1000 attack and defense. Its effect activations and activated effects cannot be negated. And then it'll also gain the following effect. When it declares an attack, you can make your opponent send one monster they control to the graveyard. So again, this would happen before the attack resolution, I believe. And this is very similar to something Magic the Gathering had with their Eldrazi cards. It was called Annihilator. Very devastating, very cool, and I'm going to be doing something with the Wicked Gods because this card is now in my arsenal. We did get a super rare trap card, level Resist Wall. If a monsters you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, target one of those monsters. Special summon an amount of monster or monsters from the deck in defense position so that the combined levels equal the level of the monster with their effects negated. You can only activate one of these per turn. So big kick here is God cards are 10 stars. They do manage to break your God card. You can summon up to 10 stars worth of cards out of your deck. So if you were going to go ahead and go into like an Xyz play, if you're playing a bunch of synchro stuff, you can go ahead and get the correct things that you want to do the things on your next turn. Or you could just put up a bunch of defense. It's all good. We do get Angel number 1, kind of a cool little fairy here. You can special summon this from the hand by revealing a level 7 or higher monster from the hand. You can only special summon one of these per turn this way. While you control this special summoned card, you contribute summon one level 7 or higher monster in attack position during your main phase, in addition to your normal summoner set. He's essentially going to be double summoned for you, so that's pretty cool. We do get Mare, and I love seeing this with a super rare because I was rocking some commons. Number 1, cool, it's a tuner. 2, it's got a great effect. Cannot be special summoned except by the effect of a worm. That's fine. During your main phase, you can reduce this card's level by 1, and if you do, special summon a mini Mare token. You can use this effect up to 3 times per turn. I'm not sure why they used thrice, but that's fine. It's fancy and I like it. And again, this will let us get enough tributes on field. Again, we get the Harpy's Feather Duster. And then we get some like cool throwback cards. So like Nimble Momonga, something we got in the OGs. Remember, it is Magic Ruler. Everybody else, it's Spell Ruler. I think it was a second or third set in the game. When these are destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you gain 1,000 life points and then special summon as many more as you want. So again, this will help get your life points modulated as well as keeping your tributes available. Bazu the Soul Eater, great from the Zoo decks. Cyber Dragon, instant advantage, trying to get your summons up. Hardened Armed Dragon's kind of cool. This is not treated as an armed dragon card, which is important, especially since Blazing Vortex gave us the lightning versions of the armed dragon. You can special summon this from your hand by sending one level 8 or higher monster from your hand to the graveyard. If you tribute this card for the tribute summon of a level 7 or higher monster, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Very cool little passive ability there. The Super Nimble Mega Hamster, this is actually amazing. On flip, you can special summon a level 3 or lower beast monster from your deck in face down defense position. And I've been playing this game long enough to remember when we did this for like Raikou with Lightsworn and stuff like that. It was really cool. Evil Swarm Mandragora, nice generic card here. If your opponent controls more monsters than you, special summon it. So you can actually start, like if they have 3, you can start with Cyber Dragon into Mandragora and then still get some other summon off real quick. So again, this really does want to get you playing a lot of cards. This way you can get your tributes up. We do have 2 copies, Photon Saber Tiger. When normal or flip summoned, you can add another copy from the deck to the hand. And if you do not control another copy of this card, this guy loses 800 attack. So best to play them in pairs. Evil Swarm Salamandra. This is going to fall in with one of our cards later. He just sort of buffs himself by banishing, and him and Bazoo are in here for a reason. You guys will see that here in a minute. We do have to have Ra's Disciple, as though this hasn't been printed to death recently. When this is summoned, you can special summon up to 2 more from the hand and or deck. Cannot be tributed except for the summon of Slifer, Obelisk, or the Winged Dragon of Ra. And while this is face up, you cannot special summon monsters except by the effect of Ra's Disciple. So effectively puts a little bit of a restriction on you, but a single summon gets you 3 tributes. So that's fantastic. Unmasked Dragon, this is another way to get into that Mare. Since it is a worm and it does special summon worms. But it does it pretty much in the same way like Mystic Tomato and stuff of yesteryear used to do. So when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you special summon a worm. This time it's going to be 1500 or less defense. They used to go based on attack. But again, this allows Mare to get into play. We do have Nimble Beaver. When this is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 3 or lower Nimble monster from the deck or the graveyard. And again, this allows you to get the Nimble Hamster, as well as the Nimble Momongas. We do have Condemned Witch. Condemned Witch is in here for all the forbidden spells. When this is normal summoned, you can add 1 forbidden quick play spell from the deck to the hand. During the opponent's main phase as a quick effect, you can tribute this, special summon a level 4 fairy from your deck, except same name. You can only use each effect once per turn, and this is really going to get us into the Ra's Disciple cards, as they are the fairies. I'm not as in love with Gizmek Uka, so I'm just going to skip this one. And I'm going to talk about Makami here. So Makami is a 6-star. While 6 or more of your cards have been banished, you can normal summon this without tributing. Hence those other cards I was mentioning. You can only use the following effects once per turn. So if it is normal or special summoned, you can discard a monster and then add a monster whose attack equals its own defense from the deck to the hand. Now, all the Gizmeks traditionally mirror themselves, just like the War Rocks I just featured the other day. But then again, so does Obelisk the Tormentor with his 4,000, 4,000. Another good question, and maybe some of you guys out there with your rulings could tell me, does double question marks equal a mirror, or is it too much of a variable? Does it have to actually be printed stat? Because maybe we can also use this to get our Slifers. Either way, we can get that to our hand. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, we can then shuffle 6 of our banished cards back into our deck, which is kind of important and pretty cool. Other great cards, again, Brain Control, pretty simple. We just want to get our tributes up. Monster Reborn, good extender. DD Capsule lets us like secure a card out of play. And again, this could be the 1 extra card you need in order to get Makami. Maybe you've only got 5 banished. Avarice to go ahead and recycle. Double Summon for the double summon. Chalice, again, I just did a card of the week on this pretty recently. Still a great card. We also have the Lance. Target a monster on the field until the end of the turn. It loses 800 attack, but it becomes unaffected by the effects of other spell traps. And Dress. Target a face-up monster until the end of the turn. It loses 600 attack, but cannot be targeted or destroyed by other card effects, which will then include monster effects. Another copy of Supply Squad for this deck. The Monarch Stormforth, allowing us to go ahead and use our opponent's monsters for tributes, which is, again, fantastic. We do get the continuous trap called Haunted. We do get cloning, if you guys aren't familiar with this one, because it's kind of hit or miss. When your opponent normal or flip summons a monster that has a level, target it, special summon a clone token with the original type, attribute, level, attack, and defense as the target. And when theirs is destroyed, so is your token. We also get Drowning Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, shuffle all opponent's attack monsters into the deck. This is arguably one of my favorite versions of Mirror Force. And of course, that is the last card. So I do hope that you guys like these. These are available now at your local OTS and other card retailers. One thing I was a little upset with, and not really upset, and it's really 2 points, is I feel like since Rage of Raw was pretty recent, and we did get the third art for Raw there, I feel like Konami maybe missed the opportunity to go ahead and give us the third arts for both Slifer and Obelisk Heroes reprints. One, I think Obelisk was within the Dark Side of Dimensions movie, and I can't really remember where the third Slifer art came in. But it would have been really cool to be able to add those to my collection. I'm not mad. And again, I can't remember a single time that Konami has released these that these haven't been a rare or better. And when I say that, I mean, I think the lowest rarity you can get would be Battle Pack 1. And that was Obelisk. And then Battle Pack 2 was War of the Gods. All three of them were in there. They had the original arts. But you can only get them as like the regular rare foil in the set. So like every time it seems like they've released these 3 characters, we never get anything less than foil, or at least just a base rare. Kind of cool. And yeah, so again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make some budget builds for you guys. I'm going to release those throughout the rest of the week, as well as after I'm done with the budget builds, I'm going to go in and I'm going to just go ahead and build using the new cards and everything else. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you guys will watch that, and I hope you guys have a great day. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.